on the corners that Elijah Muhammad had told black folks that the European had tampered with the Bible. I don't remember any of them saying where and what did he tamper with until I, whatever guidance, turned right to Isaiah chapter 18, the oracle for Ethiopia. And here is what I do. We had both scriptures, I think, last Sunday, didn't we? Yeah, let's do this again so that we can get an impact of this as a psychology. Okay? Here, you take that one. That's already turned to Isaiah. Yeah, 18 verses 1 and 2. Okay, there you go. Isaiah 18, verses 1 and 2. She's going to read first because this is the Old Testament. Huh? Okay. Well, no wonder you couldn't see it. I got the page torn out here. Okay. Oh, that's 19. Okay, so 18's on the other side. There it is there. After she reads, then you read verses 1 and 2. Here and here, verses 1 and 2. Okay, go ahead.
Woe to the man shall reign that sendeth ambassadors that seated in vessels of bulrushes upon the water, saying, Go ye, swift messengers, for nations scattered are killed, till people terrible from the beginning pierce his face, and nations left out and trodden back, his land the river cast forth.
Okay. That's the distortion. That's the change of the original script, which Brother Bill will read now. Yeah, that's it. Right. Mm-hmm. Which is Ethiopia.
Even in power, vessels on the surface of the water, those swift messengers to a nation, called and smooth, to a people filled and dry, powerful and oppressive nation, whose land the rivers divide.
Okay. Those are the same two verses from the Holy Scriptures, okay, that deal with specifically the image of black people, okay? I mean, it's not some biblical phenomena, you know, when they say Egypt, when they say Ethiopia, when they say Cush, they're talking about dark-skinned, broad-nosed, thick-lipped, and furrowed-haired people in that part of the continent of what is now called Africa. A people terrible from their beginning. You know, it is a moralization of. You know, the white minister was not going to get up in the pulpit and say to a powerful and oppressive people. That's frightening. The Europeans were already frightened of black family in Europe. That was part of the problem. They respected the African both out of fear and accomplishment. If you read The Golden Age of the Moors, Dana Drew's chapter talks about when this psychology was to be reversed, what is called Manichaeistic racism, racism by color. Okay? That was her doing. She started that. So they changed the paintings of the devil and Jesus and Mary the devil from red to black. And they changed Madonna and Child from black to white. This was before the expulsion. This is what got this horde of Europeans together under one, quote, Christian banner. What? Yeah, they changed the color of the color scheme. The devil was painted red in European medieval culture. I would just go get some of the old literatures and you'll see that they had red wings and red. Okay. So they were manipulating this thing that goes back here and here. We function from here, as strange as that may seem. No matter what we know intellectually and subconsciously, we function from here, this image. You see, how one sees oneself is important. It has nothing to do with vanity. It has something to do with good mental health. Okay. If you like what you see, you're going to do something good for what you see. If you don't, you're going to do something to harm it, to disturb it, to alter it. The subconscious mechanism will do that. That's what's called image suicide. Failing is suicide. If a child is under the impression that his or her parents don't like them, they will do things that will disappoint their parents and ruin their lives so that it fits this twisted idea of I'm no good, I'm not worth anything. And particularly if parents tell children that. And parents do tell children that. Strange as that sounds, in 1996, that kind of ignorance is still going on. Okay, give me my Bible back, brother. Thank you. The 12 sons of Jacob. Let me go ahead and do this. This is dry, a bit dry. I almost decided not to do it there in a moment's wink of my mind. And let me go right on and do this so you all have it here. Be sure. Oh, did anybody read Ecclesiastes chapter 12? Does anybody remember me asking you to? Oh, you did read it? Good, okay. All right. That's the scripture that's highlighted in the Masonic Bible. It'll have the compass and the square on it. Okay. Now, I wanted you to read that and then ask me, well, what the hell does it mean? All right. Right, okay. Yeah. Well, here's what I want to imply here. When I say Mason, I'm really saying Moore. If we understand that Moore's science is the base of Masonic lore, Masonic order. Okay? If we understand that, we understand what kind of government we're under. Okay? And that's good envisionment of where you are. You see, by what laws you're being governed by. And the near affinity we have in terms of getting on better in this country, that does not mean getting on better with white folks. If you scratch your butt and rub your head, some white folks can get along with. And some, if you kick them in the butt, you can get along with. That is, we aren't talking about. We're talking about how you see your world and from what point of view you see your world from. That you see it from your point of view. That's Afrocentric. That's the point of view we're trying to grasp here. Yeah, I'm standing here fumbling over this one. I just had it right here. Should have left it right there. Okay. Chapter 49, Genesis chapter 49, verses 1 through 27. Wow. Okay, it's a long piece here. These are the 12 sons of Jacob. And the concept in theology of Jacob is the supplanter, one who sows a seed. That's supposedly Jacob. But remember, Jacob's name was changed to Israel, and then was born out of this allegorical story again, the Israelites. And we've got a whole group of black folks that have found themselves descendants of Israel and the Israelites and the house of Judah and the house of Solomon and so forth. That's okay. If we realize that this lineage of people came out of Chaldee, Kuz, which is Ethiopia, into the territory now called Africa, are the same people. So if they want to be, or if you want to be Hebrew or Israelite, it's fine. Just know what you're talking about. That's my emphasis. That's all I'm trying to do here. I'm not trying to bring belief system to light here. He gathers his children around him at his sickbed or deathbed to bless them all. That's the story form. Gather together and hear, O sons of Jacob, and listen to Israel, your father. Okay, and as you recall, that this is the breakdown of the meaning of Israel. In the ancient Kemetic language, Ra is father. Okay. Isis, Ra, and El. Okay. So we're talking about a concept now, not a person. Okay. The embodiment of principle is what allegory and mythology represents. Okay. But when you strip back the personage of, you have the principle of. And that's what we're trying to understand with astrology, the principles that function. So the concept Israel indicates, just as the 12-rung ladder of Jacob is, again, the 12 aspects of the 360 degrees of the zodiac. Okay? Your grandparents used to sing, I'm walking up a 12-step ladder, and go to patting their feet, you know. And the Moors and the Moor Science Temple sung the same song. I don't know if Drew Ali ever explained it to them. I don't know. I don't know. Nobody kept the chronicles of his doings. Nobody out of that whole group of people. Why they didn't, I don't know. Anyway. Okay, so this is how we get Israel in terms of this circle of 12. Now, the point is this, of argument in philosophical thinking. If the 12 signs of astrology are evil, as Christians are taught to believe, why didn't Jesus say he had 11 disciples or 19 disciples? See, the constant from Genesis to Revelation is 12. Because the 12 sons of Jacob are not the only 12. Okay? Ishmael had 12 sons as well. Then the 12 disciples and the 12 pearly gates. Okay. Revelations is filled up with 12. We're going to peek through that in the latter part of the discussion here. I'm going to belabor this point here so that you'll have, but I want you to read this. Okay? You'll be amazed how much you understand if you just sit down with what information you have and read it. Then it kind of comes together, okay, in your own mind. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, you have gone up. He crouches, he lies down as a lion. Does anybody know what first sign that is? Kind of clear there, huh? Okay. And if you look at the Leo personality, they have this lion's whelp right in here, this nose, eyes, eyebrow thing right in here. You'll see Leo in there. Unless, okay? Unless the rising or ascendant takes priority over features, because the ascendant governs personality. Okay? So, it is not, then a lot of Leo women with a lot of hair, they will do their mane. They will get it out there. There's a sense of majesticism in the characters of the 30 degrees of Leo. They feel like they should be running stuff. They just feel that. I mean, just a feeling, you know. And they usually do. You know. They usually get a husband or vice versa who likes that kind of character and personality. You know. Sort of fits. But there's quite the strength of this personality that knows what it's doing and can be classified, as I've explained every time I need to do a Leo's chart. You're lucky. Go for it. You know? I have a great story to tell about a Leo I know. And I'm going to tell it because it's such a phenomenon. This young person needs a car, needs something. And I explain, you know, I'll do your chart and then give you your numbers. And then just ask your spirit. You know? So they did. They asked their spirit. And the spirit gave them a number that I had given them in the delineation of the chart. The number played 4 times. You know, that's atypical of, quote, Leo luck. You know, I mean, it doesn't happen every time, but it surely happens. You know? If you want to consider somebody lucky, wouldn't you say that was lucky? You know? But it isn't luck. It's the upward climb of one's cycle of good fortune. But when you direct it towards something, you see, and what gets you there in achievement is confidence in yourself. You got to believe in yourself on this planet. You got to. You got to believe in yourself. Otherwise, you're standing back doing, well, I almost had it. I almost got it. I don't like it still. I almost had the job. you know. We function by our psychology, our thinking gets us there. I'm going to have a great day today. I'm going to sell $500 worth of stuff. And go out there and sell $489 worth. You know, that's psychology. You draw people with your energy, with your thoughts, with your own individuated power. And you get there by the same power. It draws and it guides. But you got to turn on the switch that says, yes, I want it. And go to gulping and drooling, looking like the vampires. I got to have that car. I mean, that's where we are. We're on a desire planet. It functions by desire. And you have to focus your desire. If it's scattered all over everywhere, you're not going to get the bits and pieces. Okay, I'm going to try to get through these here. I don't want to stop and do a whole thing on them. I'm too speculative. Okay. Zebulon, second one, dwells at the seashore, and he shall be a haven for ships, and his flank shall be toward Sidon. Zebulon shall dwell at the seashore, and he shall be a haven for ships, and his flank shall be toward Sidon. Let me see what that says in that. That reads a little bit different than this one here, Genesis 49. I should have done this the first class or two, but I decided to just put it off, Sagittarius, procrastination, till later. I will do later. 13, 49:13. Zebulon shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for a haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon. Okay, that's where we are right now. Zebulon. Let me turn to this thing first before I put it up here. Zebulon is Cancer. Cancer, the crab, which is a very interesting sea animal. This is the animal that does several things, and one of them, it digs wells. I don't know if you knew that. And of course, the major Cancerian in the Bible, if anybody knows the Old Testament at all, do you know who was a big well digger that had a brother? In fact, he had a twin brother. We just got through talking about him.
Jacob?
Yes. And who was his brother? Esau, right. Jacob and Esau. Jacob was a big well digger. And now here's the interesting thing about this. Jacob and Esau are twins. Esau is the one that was hairy and red. Anybody ever seen a crab? Huh? What color is a crab? Thank you. Okay. But it's Jacob who is pronounced in the story form because of what? What happened? Who was the firstborn? Esau, right? But who gets the inheritance, the blessing? Why? Something very peculiar that we really don't understand the psychology of a group of people as well as an individual. He sold something. He sold his birthright. Okay. Sold his birthright to his brother. Yes. On whose advice? Right. Isn't that interesting? Because Cancer governs what sign? Is the sign of what? The mother. the whole ordeal of Esau getting swindled by Jacob had nothing to do with Jacob. It was the mother plotting this whole change of ideas because she favored Jacob. Very interesting kind of ordeal. And the other verification of this Cancerian behavior is this consistency of Jacob digging wells. You see? Very, very, very interesting, very Cancerian. And of course, the other classic character of Cancer is this clinging aspect. As the crab grabs something, it doesn't let it go. You'd have to cut the claw off. If the crab bit your foot, your toe, you couldn't pull it off. Maybe you could, but you just about have to tear the claw off if it's a small crab. This clinging, possessing, holding on to things is very Cancerian in character. The reason I keep emphasizing this is to show you this aspect in nature, not just human personality. In other words, the comparative of seeing something in the animal life form being performed by a human life form gives us this cross-section of something in nature that is constant, okay? And that's important to appreciate. Most of the signs in the circle are animal signs. Most of our behavior is animal behavior until we cultivate it. Okay? The extraordinary violence that we see during this period is animal behavior. That's not human, and it certainly isn't divine, though there are warring spirits in the divine. So we want to take this comparative to see something again in nature. We're all intermeshed in nature. I wonder if that brother's cancer. I don't know. It doesn't take but a little bit to hurt cancer's feelings. I mean a little bit, you know. They are so sensitive. But they need to understand their character, trait, makeup. They're very powerful people, very powerful. They can draw to them whatever they need, whatever they want. They can draw it. Money, spouse, house, car, you know, they can draw it. And one interesting thing they can do also, they can hold on to it. They'll have $1 and spend 10 cents. If they have $1 Monday and Saturday, they'll have 90 cents. If that's their last dollar, you know. But if somebody knocks on their door and calls them and says, I need 90 cents, the first hand that goes in the pocket is cancer. You know, because they embrace everyone as a protective, instinctual mother. Even men mother people. It's a mothering instinct in nature, again, okay? We want to keep seeing what's in nature. That's where we get over this male-female aspect that this culture tends to try to show. There is a mothering side of nature in the male, as there's a fathering side of nature in the female. We are male in, that's the principle. Okay, that's what I'm trying to find. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I get to the moon, let me do the sign first, so I'll bring us right into it, but we're going to deal with the ruling effects of the planet moon. The glyph here is not as accurate as I could have it if I were to draw it this way. I'm still not doing a wonderful job. Kind of like that. That's more the ideal of it. Here, I was trying to show this parallel of the breast, which is the mothering instinct of nature, because in the male, it's the chest. Usually, cancers have big chests, and sensitivity is certainly in the stomach. The nurturing aspect of nature. One writer writes that the soul's first movement outward is from the womb to the breast. And the breast brings us outward in consciousness. It makes us aware that whatever we need is no longer within that warm placenta, which means place inside, that what we need is outward. So we go from the breast to reaching and grabbing. You know, any of you all parents, you know, at some point, the baby gets up in your face and goes sucking on your nose. I mean, you know, they don't even know what to. But it's the hunger of nature that sends them outward to gain nourishment. Okay. The parental aspect of this sign is important because it governs home, money, food, and children. And also, when we get to the moon, we'll see it governs human relationship. It is considered the font of civilization. Now, what is really interesting, this sign is ascribed to, by some astrologers, to Africa, along with Pisces. Very interesting. And here's the other parallel. America has what symbol as its national